What's up, everybody? It's Greg with Delta, and this is the Be the Difference podcast. This podcast is all about making you a better person in your life and in your business with coaching on sales, leadership, mindset, marketing, everything under the sun when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And we bring on guest speakers. Today, I am incredibly excited about this specific podcast because this is somebody that I read their book a few years ago, and I've been wanting to have a conversation like this with him. But I want to welcome none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Michael Losier. Michael.
Well, hello and welcome. What a great pronunciation of my name. Thank you.
You're welcome. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing great. And you know what? I can't walk into the restaurant and say, "Where's the manager?" I'm wearing a T-shirt. So I'm pretty deliberate about having a positive vibration. And, people say, well, how do you do that? How do you have a high vibration? Well, the best way to have a high vibration is to get rid of lower vibrations. It's a math equation. If you feel that your vibe or your feelings or your joy level is only on 70, there's 30% of something that's taking it away. So the summary, to be more positive, you need to be less negative. And then the balance of your vibration becomes more positive. And then when you're in that zone, you attract things that are just like you, which is a great zone to hang out in. So
absolutely. And for those of you that don't know, if you're not on the video watching, and you're not picking up what Michael's talking about, Michael is the author of Law of Attraction, which was written 20 years ago. He's known as the how-to guy for teaching Law of Attraction and is a best-selling author of the 3 books, Law of Attraction, Law of Connection, and Your Life's Purpose. Law of Attraction has sold over 4 million copies in 37 languages. Michael caught the attention of Oprah Winfrey, who interviewed him 4 times on her Soul Series radio show on Sirius XM. And then Oprah also invited him to have his own show on her Oprah and Friends radio. He lives in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia on Canada's West Coast. Michael, I appreciate you coming on and
thank you.
And, taking time with us.
I also call it Gilligan's Island.
Yeah. Earlier we were behind the scenes, and he was talking about his Gilligan Island. So,
well, it's Canada's Garden City because it doesn't snow here. So it snowed maybe one day and then it goes away. But we've got the most stunning gardens, and the snow seems to pass the island. So I live here because of the climate and the temperature. So
how long have you lived there for?
About 25 years. I'm from the East Coast, north of Maine. So I'm from a fishing community, and then when I moved to the West Coast, just like America, the West Coast just has a little bit different vibe and beliefs than the East Coast, and then I was exposed to lots of stuff. I grew up, people ask me about, well, how did I learn about Law of Attraction? Well, I grew up fat and chubby, so I was bullied a lot. And even when I was younger, I saw the relationship between worried about being bullied, and guess what? I was right. Every time that I worried about being bullied, I would be bullied, and I never understood it. And I would always say, listen, I'm a good altar boy. I go to church every Sunday. Why is it happening to me? I never understood why. Listen, everybody, I know you do this too. Why do positive people attract negative things? What's up with that? Yeah. I mean, I'm my parents' favorite. I could go on and on and on, yet I would be bullied. Yeah. And I went through that for years, and I noticed the pattern being bullied. And then when I went to a brand new school, I thought, I wonder if I'm going to get bullied there. And I thought, well, nobody knows me there. I'm going to have a new start. So I didn't focus on being bullied. I focused on meeting people and finding a couple of people to be friends with. And guess what? I wasn't being bullied until I remembered that I was bullied. You see, Law of Attraction, we're going to talk about this. Law of Attraction, which is this energy around us, it has a 2-word job description. I didn't create this law, I'm just teaching it. The 2-word job description of Law of Attraction is matches vibrations, whether they're positive or negative. And you think, what's a vibration? Well, you might not use the word vibration, but you probably use the word vibe. Hey, I like the vibe in here. She's got a great vibe. He's got a great vibe. There's a good vibe in this hotel or city. See, I got excited. We use the word vibe to describe a mood or a feeling.
Yeah.
We don't say that feels good or that. Not everybody uses the F word, feeling word. So when I say there's a vibe, this is what I mean. Right now, you and I and everybody listening, they have a vibe. It means they're not even doing it on purpose. And there's only two. It's either a negative vibe or a positive vibe. There's not one in the middle. So if you're angry and ticked off and feeling guilt, shame, and blame, I didn't create the rule, I'm teaching it. If you're having those feelings, guess what, Captain Obvious? That's your vibe. But what if you're feeling love and joy and appreciation and gratitude? And what if you're having those feelings? Then that's a positive vibe. And guess what? Then that's your vibe. And the reason, and particularly for business owners, this is for you, the reason why you want to know about your vibe, because there's an eavesdropper in the room, and it's called law of attraction. It's eavesdropping on the vibe that you're sending about anything and everything, and it's matching it. Why? Because it's not smart. The universe isn't smart, it's obedient. It doesn't know whether that's something that you want or don't want, or something that's good or bad for you, or something that's good or that's healthy or not. It doesn't know. It's like Google. So law of attraction's 2-word job description is match vibrations. And if I wanted to make it even simpler, I could say it in 1 word, and I'm going to hold up a box of matches and burn this image. This is the definition for law of attraction, matches. Are you curious about what the vibe is you're sending about money?
Yes.
Open your wallet.
I think everybody is.
Yeah, well, open your wallet. It's a perfect match. Are you curious what the vibe is you're sending about sales? Open your sales report. It's a perfect match. Are you curious about the vibe that you're setting about having a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a spouse? Take a look and see what you're getting. It's a perfect match. I didn't create the rule. I'm teaching it. If you're getting it, you had to have sent the vibration that created it. But today, because I'm the how-to guy for teaching law of attraction, thank you, Oprah Winfrey, for calling me that. Today, I'm going to teach everyone listening that when you change your vibe, your results change. That's the law. The law says, that's the law of attraction, says it will match your vibration. So right now, I might be remembering about that, not me, but somebody might be saying, oh, what a horrible day I had yesterday. I had 2 hang-ups and somebody didn't call back and I'm telling that story over and over. And as I'm telling that story, I'm giving it attention. And as I give anything attention, it causes me to give a vibration. I don't have to create a vibe about that. I'm creating it with my story. So remembering about that negative experience yesterday, it's like, now I can have a little bit of feeling, and guess what? In the very moment, not only am I sending the vibration of yesterday's event, wait for it, I'm resubmitting that same order. And law of attraction doesn't know I'm telling you about my bad day yesterday, or I'm at the group and we're talking about how our relationships suck and how we have no money. Law of attraction doesn't know the source of the vibration that matches it. Everything you give attention to is submitting an order. Oops, you just submitted an order. You know, when we place an order on Amazon, it lets us fill up the cart. And it doesn't submit it until you tell it. I'd like one of those. And isn't it funny? You don't go to Amazon and talk about what you don't want. Oh, Amazon, I don't want that. And you don't do that. But funny, in our real lives, we do. I don't want this and I don't want that. Imagine calling to order a pizza and say, yeah, here's all the things that I don't want on my pizza.
And then it's fun to get the pizza that you want.
Yeah, I said I didn't want it. Oh, I didn't hear the part you didn't want it. So,
yeah.
So summarize so far right now without even knowing that you're doing it. Everybody has a vibe. And that vibe is coming from what you're giving attention to. What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you talking about? Who are you hanging around with? What are you observing? What are you giving your attention to? Law of attraction doesn't know the source of it. It's responding to how you feel about it. Oh, you're looking at your sales report and they're through the roof and you're thinking, wow, I did a great job. And you call your friend and say, and law of attraction doesn't know you're telling your friend about your great sales or your business partner. It's responding to how you feel about when you tell the success story.
Yeah. So
in
sales, that we as people tend to find negative emotions quicker, or we tend to feel those quicker.
Well, because we don't understand the reason not to.
Yeah.
The reason not to is because you can get more of it. I don't really know how to answer. Why are people defaulted to be more negative? You know, even I worked for the government 25 years ago before this world, and I was probably the most positive person in the office. And I was the one that was reframing people's. I remember having a sign in my office that said, "Behind every complaint is a request," and that's it. People had to tilt their head. What does that mean? Well, you're about to complain. What's the request? So I was getting people to reframe their language 25 years ago in a government office.
Yeah.
And because I know, I mean, I created everything. I was interviewed by Oprah Winfrey 4 times. It was supposed to be a 20-minute interview. I hosted my own radio show on the Oprah Network. And I had an entire career and never had a business card. I never had a publicist. And I never solicited one thing to anybody. My book's in 37 languages, sold 4 million copies. I traveled to 17 countries twice. And I never solicited a phone call. And guess what? The power that's available to me is available to everybody. It's free. And it's available to everybody. And it's called, wait for it, it's called deliberate attraction. And deliberate attraction means that you would deliberately give attention to something that you want. And as you deliberately give attention, law of attraction doesn't know how it got in there. What is it doing it? Matching it. Oh, Michael just gave attention to traveling to, I remember this time, I was watching 20 years ago when my book first came out, and I'm watching, and I saw a travel show in Santorini, and I thought, oh, I never heard of that word before. I love the word for starters, and I love Greek food, and I thought, oh, I'd like to go to Santorini. That would be fun. And I wasn't really planning it. So I just watched the documentary about Santorini. And then I went to the Googler and I typed in Santorini. And about 2 weeks later, I got a call from a European publisher and said, listen, we've got a tour. Do you want to go to Santorini? Now, earlier you used the word happenstance. So for our friends that are listening and thinking, oh, this doesn't work. This is crazy. This is BS, blah, blah, blah. Well, we're going to do a quick little survey. And you are going to help me with it. And I want you to give yourself, this is everybody listening, I want you to give yourself 1 point if you've ever used any of these words, and tell me the points out loud. The first word is happenstance. Yeah, go ahead and deny using it. I heard it earlier. You got to try. How about coincidence?
Yeah.
Synchronicity.
Yeah.
Synchronistic.
Yeah.
Serendipity or serendipitous.
Yep.
Fate.
Yep.
Karma.
Yeah.
Meant to be.
Yep.
Everything fell into place.
Yep.
And this one might catch you. Kismet.
I know kismet. I haven't used it, but
I think it's a European word. I never knew it either, but I thought I got to put one on there that nobody uses. Boy, I give you a list of those words, but I didn't give you a title. Here's the title. Evidence of law of attraction. Hey, this is such a coincidence. I just was thinking about you. That's evidence of law of attraction. Hey, listen, it was so synchronistic. I went down this road that I ever went. There was a coffee shop I went in. I met a new client. It was an ideal client. Everything fell into place. They came to me out of the blue. It was so synchronistic. That's evidence of law of attraction. And why I say that is, even though you haven't been using the word law of attraction, you've been experiencing it. If you've ever said, this is even if it was in any form, hey, this is such a coincidence. Everybody's had to use one of those words. Think about that. Why did you call it a coincidence? Because you were giving it attention a day ago, 2 days ago, and people say there's no such thing as coincidence. Then why would I need a word to describe it? Of course there's an experience of it.
Yeah.
So I want people to own that they are, this is I'm part of my training is NLP, which stands for neuro-linguistic programming. So words are super important to me, and I like to slice and dice them. So here's our first slice and dice word, and the word is attractable. Now there's 2 words buried in that word. What's one of them?
Attract.
And the other one?
Able.
So we have to, our affirmation to ourselves should be, I'm attractable, meaning you fill it for me. I'm able to attract. I'm attractable. Look at the proof here. There's proof here, and there's proof here. There's proof here. Look at this coincidence. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Matter of fact, our job, wait for it, our job is to become a proof seeker. So imagine holding up a magnifying glass and deliberately seeking evidence of your attractability. And the reason why you want to notice how attractable you are is so you'll get rid of the doubt that you can't attract. Because the speed at which you attract anything isn't determined by how much you want it. It's determined by how much doubt you have in receiving it. I'm going to shorten that. On one hand, I say I want it, and maybe I give myself a 10 out of 10. Oh, I want one of those. I like it this and this and this, and I'm all pumped up, and I took pictures of it, and I daydream. My vibe is full of that thing that I said that I want. I'm going to give myself a 10 out of 10. And then there's a little voice said, well, you can't have that. Who do you think you are? You're not good enough, blah, blah, blah. That is the voice of doubt. And on a scale of -1 to -10, guess how strong my doubt is? It's a -10. So the -10 of my doubt plus the +10 of my desire, the net effect of the equation is 0.
Yeah.
So for us to attract more, we don't need to want it more. We don't need to make macaroni collages and dream boards and bubbles and all. You don't need to do that. You already placed the order. You just have to allow it in. It's like when we place an order on Google, or sorry, on Amazon, we're pretty good at letting them in. Same with pizza. Sometimes we're meeting the delivery person out in the driveway. Talk about ordering something and letting it in. So law of attraction is the same thing. What it is that I want. What is stopping me? It's my doubt. And this, if you're taking notes, stop the car. Stop the car, because this is the sentence you want to write down. The best way to remove doubt is to find proof. And I might be keeping a little log. You know what? I got an email yesterday from an ideal client. I got an email from this guy that wanted to interview me, and I got an email and I got a sale yesterday. In other words, I'm noticing, well, this is exactly what like last week I said I wanted to have more of this, and I placed the order. People say, who'd you place the order with? I placed the order with my vibration. For all you salespeople, and all of us, I'm a salesperson, I'm in business, I have to sell my own things. This is how you plus, when you go to Amazon, I'll go back to Amazon. So on Amazon, you fill the cart, and you don't order it. When you want to order, you press enter. And then Amazon says, thank you for the order. We will do everything and just deliver it to you. We love how that happens. And then we go back to Amazon, and it said, because for a quick little example, it took me a long while to find certain soap that I like. That's, the smell of it and the texture and everything. I've ordered soap, and every time I went to Amazon, I would say, no, I'd like this. And I had to get really clear. And then one time I found it, and I probably ordered a year's supply, like 50 bars of soap. It lasted me I still have it for a long time. And then I go back to Amazon, and you know what Amazon says to me? Do you want to reorder that soap that took you so long to find that was so perfect for you? Would you like to reorder it? You know what I'm thinking? Oh, thank you, Amazon, for remembering that. So for all of our salespeople, do you want to reorder that ideal prospect you met yesterday? Or do you want to reorder that ideal sale that you had yesterday? People say, I don't know what to do for marketing. Look at me. What you need to do for marketing is to include the vibration of what you want. So what if you had a sales meeting in the morning? What if you had a sales meeting in the morning and you spent the time talking about the way it was yesterday that were perfect matches? I mentored a very young real estate. I live on Gilligan's Island. Everything's expensive here. Like little tiny things start at 500,000 to millions of dollars in Victoria. It's a very expensive city. This guy was 26 years old. He did my law of attraction stuff. He took some training, and he had a 7-minute law of attraction meeting every day in his sales team. Oh, by the way, he sold it 7 years later for millions of dollars and now lives in Maui. He had a 7-minute, they didn't do any other, a 7-minute. So here's what they did for 7 minutes. Let's just say it could be 7 minutes. Let's say there's 5 people. Okay, let's hear from each of you. So remember, as I'm talking about this experience yesterday, I'm giving it attention. And as I'm giving it attention, I'm resubmitting the order. And as you're hearing about my experience, you're giving attention to my success. So yesterday, this is how first person said, okay, well, yesterday I met Betty Smith. She lives on Dallas Road. You know those condos on Dallas Road? She's on the 9th floor. Boy, she was awesome. She's ready to sell. She has all of her stuff in place. She's willing to stage it. She really likes the energy. She's this, and she was a good communicator, and she answered all the questions, and she's ready to take the next step. And wow, what a great meeting we've had from you. What, that's going to be great on our listing. But not one person says this. Did she sign up? Because that's not the purpose. The purpose, this is so important, business people, The important is to include the vibration of your ideal customer, client, or prospect. If you focus on whether she signed up or not, now you've got something else in the vibration.
Okay.
Matter of fact, on the way home in the car, that's the exercise. Thinking, wow, that was an ideal unit. It's in the highest neighborhood. It's on the 9th floor. Everything's redone. She had a great vibe. She's ready to move. She's this and she's this and she's this and there's this and there's this. And guess what? Law of attraction is in your car. And it's eavesdropping on what you're giving attention to. And it doesn't know that you're celebrating the ideal meeting that you just left. And what if she says no at the end? That doesn't matter. You focus on and you could even say, whoa, that was a close match. Here's all the things I liked about her. She was this and this and this and this and this and this and this. That's how you have a 7-minute law of attraction. Because I'm going to ask you a question. Is it true? If I was to show you a vibrational meter reader, almost like a measuring, it starts at 0 and goes to 100. Is it true that your vibration, well, you tell me if it's true, is your vibration higher on the dial than it was before this interview?
Yes.
Yes. And how did I influence it? It's one word and it starts with the W. I influenced your vibration today with my words.
W? With your words, yeah.
With my words. I didn't have to feed you. I didn't have to pay you. I didn't have to send you treats. I didn't have to do all of I influenced you by your vibration.
Yeah.
And part of that is reducing negative conversation at meeting and conversation. So I do want to do a quick little training episode. So I am going to teach people 3 words to eliminate from their vocabulary. But I want to hear from you. Tell me something. And listen, I'm going to be so deliberate. I'm going to ask the question 4 ways based on the 4 styles. So tell me something that you heard today that really resonated, or what do you see yourself doing in the next few days? What made sense, or what got you excited? Go ahead.
Honestly, the biggest thing that's has made the most impact is writing out proof. Is going through, like, as you were talking about, you held up the magnifying glass. For those of you that aren't listening, or you are on the video platform, and you're only on the audio, he held up a magnifying glass. But initially, when you first did that, the first thing I started thinking about was, okay, so in the different areas of my life that I want to attract specific things, whether it's a relationship, whether it's money for business, whether it's specific types of people for people I'm recruiting.
Yeah, customers, clients, partners, everything. Yeah,
absolutely. Like, I need to start writing down even the smallest things of abundance, or times where abundance was present in my world.
That's right. And why that's going to be helpful, because law of attraction doesn't know that you're remembering. It doesn't know that you're going back to the time when you open the mailbox or whatever, and it's like, holy shit, look at the checks, or that time you got a bit. And this is the hack. Law of attraction doesn't know where the vibration is coming from. So remember that. That's what I say. When all the realtors are remembering yesterday, guess what they're doing? They're all submitting the order for that day. So, in Oprah's heyday, well, she's still some heyday, she was promoting the gratitude journal. Everybody was doing a gratitude journal. Law of attraction didn't know it was a gratitude journal. Law of attraction was responding to how you feel about when you're writing. You don't say, oh, my life sucks, in your gratitude journal. Law of attraction. So, the days of Dear Diary, people would put all their crappy stuff in it. Well, it was okay because you did it briefly. So it's okay to get ticked off and angry. So I hate when this happens. So it's okay to do all that. Matter of fact, it's natural to do all that. So just for anybody that thinks that I'm thinking you got to be happy all the time, you can't get ticked off. Yes, you can. But I want you to burn this image in your head. You can observe negativity briefly. And what does that mean? So, oh, I hate when a client cancels like that. It drives me crazy. Blah, 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 blah. Now, as soon as you call 10 friends and you go, Dear Diary, I hate when clients cancel, and then you start a live video chat and you interview 7 people then you probably spent a little bit too much time in that. Yeah. Now, how long was briefly? I don't know. Maybe a year ago you would have chewed on something for 2 days, and now you're down to a day. That's briefer. But what if you were down to a minute? Because here's the challenge. As you're having your little snit fit about the things that you don't like, law of attraction is matching it. So you observe briefly. But the good news is, as soon as you change what you're giving attention to, law of attraction doesn't remember what the old vibe is. You know why? Because it's not very smart. It's obedient. So this,
and writing out this journal, this, I was like, I have a book right here that's completely empty, and I'm like, I could literally use this
and do one per page. Like, I have one for everything. My ideal podcast. You think I'm living that right now? Yes. My ideal client, my ideal interview, my ideal web designer, my ideal this, and I call it ideal, not perfect, ideal. And then I have a list of those things. It's like ordering a pizza. You don't tell them all the things that you don't want. So this is for our salespeople. There's two groups of people that you can get started with this exercise. One, my ideal prospect. Now, I know a lot of people, if we were to observe the story they tell about prospecting, tell me what some people might say about prospecting.
That it's a grind.
Oh, people reject me. So remember what I'm talking about. So here's what and not me, but somebody, oh, I hate prospecting. They always reject me and they ask me too many questions and they don't believe me and they waste my time and they never buy anything, right? And they're negative and they're rude to me. Law of attraction couldn't buck that current if it tried. So, you know what? In short, everything, I'm looking for another card here. Well, I'll just tell you what it is. You get what you vibrate. So all of our business friends that are thinking, why am I getting this? Well, I heard this guy on the podcast that said, if you getting it, you had to have the sense of vibration that created it. And thinking, well, I didn't put it out that I wanted to have negative clients. You didn't do it on purpose. But I'm going to show you the 3 words that cause people to attract negative things. And I'm also going to suggest for your homework between now and the rest of your life that you reduce and eliminate them. That is the homework. So if you're driving, stop the car, get a pad of paper, draw a circle the size of a golf ball, and draw that international do not use symbol, and write these 3 words. Don't, not, that's N-O-T, no, N-O, don't, not, and no. And your homework between now and the rest of your life is to eliminate those. And it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to tell you how to change that. For example, you might respond to an email today that says, don't hesitate to contact me. So when I say don't hesitate, what did I give attention to?
To hesitate to contact.
Hesitate, yes. You will not be disappointed. What did I give attention to?
You'll be disappointed.
This is not a scam. What did I give attention to?
To the not, no, and the don't.
No. Every time you use the word don't, not, and no, you just submitted the order. Yeah. Imagine going to Google and telling Google everything you don't want. After this podcast, go to Google and type in no pink elephants. No pink elephants. What color elephants do you think Google will send you?
I'll send you pink.
Why? That's right. You see, Google strips away the words don't, not, and no and brings you what you said you didn't want. Google isn't smart. It's obedient. And you're not really sure, go type in no sex and see what shows up. Whenever you use the word don't, not, and no, Google strips the word away and you submitted that order by what you said you didn't want.
Yeah.
So the way to do it in our real lives, because you are going to catch yourself using the word don't, not, and no. I do too. I'm reading it. Don't park here. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't hesitate to call me. All the TV. Don't hesitate. Don't delay. Don't be scared. Well, when the doctor says this won't hurt, well, I didn't think it was, but now that you brought it up, but here's what I want to drill into everybody's brain. Everybody that complains is using the word don't, not, and no. Everybody that worries is using the word don't, not, and no. And everybody that has a negative voice and negative attitude and has negative is using the word don't, not, and no. So the goal is to reduce them. The real goal is to eliminate them, but let's step at a time. How do you do it? I'm going to give you another sentence. I want to make it your new password. This is your brand new password because this word is going to change your life. This sentence, rather, is going to press the big old vibe reset button. Because when I reset my vibes, what else changes? When I change my vibes, I change my
results.
That's right. If you want to get a different result, you got to change your vibe. So here's your homework between now and the rest of your life, is every time you use the word don't, not, and no, you cannot not hear my voice say, so what do I want? Let's try that. Let's try that together. Don't hesitate to contact me. So what do I want?
Feel free to contact me.
That's right. Don't forget. What do I want?
Please remember.
Isn't that a nice one? Don't forget. Don't spill your milk. So what do I want?
Be careful while you drink your milk.
That's right. Don't beat up your brother. So what do I want? Don't talk back to your mother. What do I want? I don't want clients that don't pay on time. You're going to, not you, everyone, they're going to catch them thinking, holy S-balls, no wonder I keep attracting that. You should hear my stories. Yesterday, and then when they get the thing that they said, oh, that's exactly what I said I didn't. I've been saying all week I didn't want that, and it's exactly what I said I didn't want. And I want to say, well, that's exactly what you ordered. Law of attraction isn't smart, it's obedient. Now, for those of you that like training tools, because I'm a trainer, people call me a motivational speaker. I'm not a motivational speaker, I'm a motivated trainer. And my goal is to make sure that I'm brainwashing people so much so that I'm washing their brain of the things that didn't serve them. Two things I want you to remember me forever for is the guy that taught you that you have the ability to reset your vibe. Can you imagine that gift to be able to reset a vibe? And the way I reset a vibe is that every time I use the word don't, not, and no, I cannot not hear Michael Losier say, so what do I want? Matter of fact, today you might go type, don't hesitate to contact me, and your baby fingers are going to go backspace, backspace, backspace. You cannot not hear my voice say, so what do you want? It'll change your life forever. And as you reduce, this is why, as you reduce the words don't, not, and no, you reduce negative attraction. And when you reduce negative attraction, the balance of your vibration gets risen. And the higher your vibration, the faster your manifestation. That's why you want to reduce negative attraction. So, I've been showing some buttons here. I call them buttons because they were little, I'll just show you. I ordered thousands of these. They were little lapel buttons with the little pins on them, and I would travel with them and at seminars, and people would come up to me in the hallways, and I would go into my pocket, and I would give them little vibe reset buttons. And my strategy was I didn't have to go talk to anybody. People would come up to me. Oh, Mr. Losier, I heard you have, and it was like candy. So great strategy. If you're networking, is give out some fun little buttons and people will come to you. I never had to approach anybody. So I turn them into these they're actually just photos that I use. So there's 10 of them in total. And the reason why I'm telling you that, because these are key law of attraction training points. What are they? They are
key.
They're key. They're so important, they deserve a button. Does this deserve a button? The don't, not, and no button?
I would say no.
Yes, what about a reminder? I have them in my office. I'm looking at those. I wrote them and designed them, and I still like to be reminded. So I'd like to give the web address. These are free. They set up them on your computer, make a 4x6 photo, and get a couple sets made, and these are key training points. Imagine having these on your fridge or your bathroom, and imagine influencing the people in the workplace. Mm. When I was in the government, I could have a team meeting, and how many people did it take to contaminate that meeting? One. And how many people did it take to influence the meeting? One. Yeah. So if you go to michaellosier.com/buttons, there's 10 of them in total. They print off nicely, and these are key law of attraction reminders, so you can train your brain so you can do it yourself. This power that I'm talking about is available to everybody. The difference between me is that I'm in the energy, and I'm seeing the quotes, and I'm having this conversation, and I'm going to have it probably another 2 times today. So I'm always in the vibe, just like anybody that wants to be an expert in anything that they're an expert in. You're doing that every day. You're in that vibe. So what I would like to do is summarize everything I said.
Okay.
And because I've been using some accelerated learning techniques, and what that means is I've been teaching to all 4 learning styles. So whether you like to see it or think it or read it or feel it, today you would have been satisfied with the learning. So I'm quite certain that as I summarize everything I'm about to say, is that everyone listening is going to be able to fill in the blanks and spaces because they heard me say it several times, or they might even anticipate what I'm about to say. It's going to take 1.5 minutes. So here's what you heard. At every moment, including right now, and right now, everybody has this vibe. And the word vibe actually comes from the longer word vibrations. And a vibe is simply a mood or a feeling. And there's only two kinds, positive and negative. And you cannot not have one. That means right now and right now you have a vibe. And it's either positive vibe or negative vibe. And this vibe is like a bubble around you. This vibe is your feelings. And law of attraction, which is this universal energy around us that I can't prove to anybody, is responding to the vibe that you're sending about everything and anything. And it's unfolding and orchestrating to bring you more of what was in your vibe. And it's not very smart. It doesn't know the thing that was in your vibe is something that you want or don't want, or whether it's good or bad for you, or whether it's helpful or not helpful. It's obedient and it's not smart. And we learned today that the reason why I'm attracting negative things, even though you're not a negative person, you've done the training, you've done your sales, and you're a good person, and yet you're getting rejected. Why am I attracting negative things? Well, if you've attracted something negative, you had to have sent the vibration that created it. It's all about the vibe that you're sending. But today you learn that you have this unique ability to reset your vibe. And the way I reset my vibe is I give attention to what I do want. So the two exercises today, one is to have a page and put my ideal prospect. And go back 10 prospects ago, even if they didn't hire you, and say, well, what did I like about Bob? Well, you know what? Bob approached me in a networking meeting. I like that. What did I like about, what if you could build a list of all the positive experiences that you collected about your prospecting? And now you got a list of it. And now you're proving to yourself, well, okay, you know what? For all the bad stuff I'm happy, I did manage to have somebody call me out of the blue, and I did have somebody at the networking meeting bring somebody up, or I did get an email that said Betty recommended me. That's your job. Your job is to place the order. And you got to be careful not to say what you don't want. Remember, everything you give attention to becomes your order. You submit the order with your vibration. So now that you built the list of your ideal prospect based on all, and maybe you don't have a prospect yet, that's good. Now you can build a fresh list. Now you submit it to order. Now do the same thing for my ideal sale or customer, whatever your business. Maybe it was a year ago. Law of attraction doesn't care if it was a year ago. Law of attraction cares about, and you could do that. Go to your file folder and say, oh, boy, oh, I remember this client. Remember we got this sale? Let's talk about it. Remember they called us out of the blue and they wanted to order 10 of them. We never had an order, but remember the big party we had? So as I'm recollecting and remember, I'm back into the vibration of that. There's a lot to be said for remembering. So I'm making this up right now, build your vibrational profile. Here's the vibration of my ideal prospect. Here's the vibration of my ideal. And the way you create it is go back and find proof or evidence of one that worked. Remember, everything that you're doing is causing you to submit that order.
This is all incredible. And so I've read The Law of Attraction twice.
Twice? I wrote it 100 times.
and I'll tell you that all of this is in the book. So if you haven't read the book, I highly recommend go get it. It's
in the first 14 pages of the book.
Yeah.
That's what this was today. Thank you.
Yeah. And there's a lot more in the book. And there's what I liked about the way you wrote it is the practical nature and the exercises within to help get people on the right path to creating this themselves.
Yeah. Do you want to know the secret to all three of my books?
What's that?
They're all 144 pages or less. You know why? Because I live on Gilligan's Island. And 22 years ago, I self-published a book. So I went to the post office and I said, how thick can a book be before it goes into second-class mailing, which is expensive, right? I live on Gilligan's Island. They told me. So then I went to the big bookstore and I took a measuring tape and I said, my book can be 104. So my book was 144 pages and it fit into a mail slot. That's why it's 144 pages. That's one of the secrets. The other secret is that I did the cover a year before I published the book. And then I used the cover to pre-sell books. And I was getting on conference calls, like with network marketers and those big 200 and 300 people. I was the only person in the world talking about law of attraction. So anybody thinking this is new, imagine 25 years ago, 20 years ago, how new it was. Yeah. And then I had websites just came out in my world like 22 years ago. And I bought lawofattractionbook.com, which still exists. And I put there the book. I didn't know anything about updating. I just had a friend load the book cover, and I collected email addresses for a year. And then, so I'm self-publishing my book. Self-publishing means doing everything yourself, in case you're wondering. That means the editing and the proofreading and the color, the artwork. And I put together a great team of people. I also formed mastermind teams where a group of us got together and everybody had a different goal. So they were all my business partners. They didn't know nothing about publishing, but they knew I could come in every week and say, okay, I did this, I got the cover design. So thank you to all the mastermind teams. So I'm doing these calls. I collected these email addresses for a year. Oh, so the real secret behind all my books, they were seminars first. This Law of Attraction seminar, the entire book is my packet of worksheets expanded. So all three of my books were seminars that I did hundreds of times. And then I added characters. They're all real friends. So everybody in my book is a real person. Yeah. And my friend with the bald head doesn't like his photo. So he said, you made me bald. I said, dude, you are bald. She said, so that was so funny. They're all friends. The stories are real. There's nothing in me about any of the books because it's not about me. The other key to my success with my books is divided into two sections. One section is enough to give away to teach somebody, because today I gave away the first section. Mm-hmm. And then the second section of all the books is the processes. So with Law of Attraction, remember the 3-step process? Didn't talk about that today, right? So in my career, I was always able to do free presentations or introductory presentations. Everybody leaves home with the reset button. And then it's like, okay, I'd like to apply. I'd like more. And then I would sell them the processes. So all of these were books. They were all seminars first. They stand true for 20 years. I didn't need to make any changes because everything I said was true then, and it still works today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that you also on your website, which you gave the link earlier, it'll also be in the show notes.
It's also this hangoutwithmichael.com. So
it's exactly hangoutwithmichael.com. On your website, you have some sessions where people can sign up and have 25-minute sessions with you, which I'm going to be doing here soon. I actually signed up, and I don't know if you want to kind of just introduce that, talk a little about if anyone's interested in.
Well, listen, if they got this far in the video, they can hear the next piece, right? Because some people didn't listen to the whole thing, which is okay. This is for you that listened in. So I only have about 3 minutes, so I'm going to do a really good job. You know how sometimes people talk about carrying stress in their shoulders? Well, they're close, but it's not stress. But it is one of these emotions. And these are called trapped emotions, and there's 60 of them. And these are emotions that we have that we held in. We didn't cry, we didn't get ticked off, we didn't tell anybody, we buried them. You know how we say we bury our feelings? Well, it didn't go very far because it's starting to pop up. Matter of fact, that person that is jealous about everything, that jealousy is caused by one baseball-sized emotion that's unprocessed from an old experience. And you know how we talk about having buttons? It's not a button, it's a ball. And that ball of energy, which could be one of these, there's anger, there's anxiety, there's nervousness, there's worry, there's anger, bitterness, hatred, jealousy, longing, humiliation, pride, all these, if you're feeling it, it's this size. And I have a unique ability to identify it for you and delete it for you. I've worked with 2,157 people on Clubhouse for free. I have an outstanding success rate and an outstanding reputation. The work is done on Zoom or on the telephone, and I become your proxy. And that means on your behalf, I will identify the emotion, these baseball-sized emotions, and delete it for you. 99% of the clients, I'm healing and resolving their physical pain within 6 minutes. This could be long-term pain, neck, shoulders, arms, hips, headaches. What's a headache? A headache is a baseball-sized, unprocessed emotion in your head. And so when we say we have pressure, oh, it's pressure, all right. It's a baseball size. So when I get an x-ray, why doesn't it show up? Because it's energy. And how about when you have sore shoulders and backs and hips and they take x-rays and they can't find anything because they can't see this. And this baseball-sized emotion is pushing up against the hip. Or there's 5 of them, and it's causing your spine to be out of alignment. Or your teeth grinding. There's a baseball-sized energy. Did I lose you? Or
No,
I'm keeping you?
I'm still here.
So that's all the physical stuff. But the other stuff that I do is that I can identify any old, unprocessed negative emotions that people have about a specific person or group. And it's called a heart wall. So when I work with business people, I find out what is the negative vibe that they're sending about prospects. So in other words, when they go to meet a prospect, they're bringing this old vibration that's left over from an old event, and it's called a heart wall. And the person that they're meeting is responding to it perfectly. Do you want to have an experience while their friends are watching?
Well, why not? Let's do it.
Everybody has one. I'm going to be pretty quick. I got 2 more minutes. So right now I'm muscle testing. That's a yes answer. That's a no answer.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to do my little scan here. Oops. Okay, just like Greg, if you wanted me to dial into your Wi-Fi, say, oh, I see I can get your Wi-Fi. I can't get into it until I have your password. In other words, I can't connect with my neighbors and people on the street because I don't have their password. So when people volunteer or when they pay me, it's assumed that I have your password. So my unique ability, these are no's. That's a yes answer. When this finger, that's a yes, that's a no. So am I Michael Losier? No. Am I Greg? Yes, I am. Am I Greg? Am I Michael Losier? So I'm asking my subconscious mind now. I'm doing this on Greg's behalf. I'm asking my subconscious mind, how many old, unprocessed emotions, heart walls, do I have with prospecting? Do I have more than 1? Yes. More than 2? Yes. More than 3? I have 3 of them. Okay, and I'm going to find them now. Are they in column A? Is it row 1? Is it abandonment? Yes. Betrayal? Yes. And forlorn. So I'm going to explain what that means. So that means I had an experience with prospecting, and I had this negative charge with prospecting, and I still have that vibe, and that's what I'm responding to. Did I get this in 2024? No. And under 2024, 2023, these were yeses. 2022, under 2015, was it over 2015, 2016, 2017, in 2017? Was it January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So August 11, 2019, I had an experience with prospecting, and I left with these emotions, and I never told anybody, and they're part of my vibration. So this is what I'm getting from prospects. I'm deleting this heart wall of abandonment. That's very prospecty, right? We're prospecting and they leave us. It's like, where'd they go? I was prospecting them. Next, I'm deleting this heart wall of betrayal. What do you mean you hired Betty Smith? I was talking to you. So I'm releasing this heart wall of feeling betrayed. And the next one, I'm deleting this heart wall of forlorn. That means I'm missing you. You said we were going to work together. Now, do I have any heart wall with or about any prospects? No. Is it okay for me to expect and intend to have very good success and even old prospections reconnecting with me because I got rid of that negative vibration that was in the way? Is it okay for me to anticipate new prospects and old prospects coming back and re-engaging? Is that okay? Yes. Is it safe? Yes. Am I worthy? Yes. Do I believe it? Yes. Was that okay before today? No. Was it safe before today? Was I worthy before today? And did I even believe that I could get more ideal prospects before today? I can now. Yes. And am I done? Yes. There you go.
That's incredible.
Did that date make sense to you?
It actually did.
Yeah. If you can imagine every event that we ever had in our whole lives, we have a file folder on it. So our subconscious mind, it knows everything you smelled and touched and tasted, and I can access these file folders with yes or no. So I said, oh, was it in the 20? No, it wasn't 24. So everything was a yes or no, and that's how I got to the year. And then, oh, well, I have to find the file folder, what month? And it told me. So then I was able to take the file folder off, called the event, where I got these 3 emotions, and then I deleted them for you. So. And they were part of your vibe. So you finish this sentence for me, and this will tell me if you graduated or not. because I have a brand new vibe, I can expect brand new
results.
Excellent. To summarize today, you get what you vibrate.
That's true. Michael, thank you so much for jumping on the Be the Difference podcast. This has been
welcome.
fantastic.
Yeah, this is how you be the difference, right? You mind your vibration.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If for those of you that are watching, if you watch till now, then obviously you got some value. Do me a favor. Share this content with other people that can also get value. Go out. If you haven't read it already, go get The Law of Attraction by Michael Losier. And it takes you 30, 60 seconds to rate, review, subscribe, or share, but it means the world to both Michael and I when you do so.
Yes.
This has been the Be the Difference podcast. I'm your host, Greg Birch. Until next time, we'll see you.